what's happening here in this document. First, everything that I'm collecting in the document, so I'm going to use photo stock. I'm going to draw the characters, but the backgrounds will be photo stock. Everything that I'm collecting is based on my storyboards. So I have the cabin background, or the cabin with the forest background here. Looks as though I need a cabin interior, maybe 2 shots of that from different angles. I want to be able to see the snow falling outside. Again, a cabin shot, forest. I'm also going to need a lake. I'm also going to need some ocean sky, maybe a different lake here, and then some sort of island, okay? I am just going to go through this visually. I'm going to double check keep my storyboard out and look back at that when I need to grab an asset. But you can also even write notes below, so you know, grab photo stock forest, photo stock lake, photo stock. You can decide if you want to have a photo stock boat or draw the boat. I'm going to opt to draw the boat. And because I might animate these oars here, as I said. And then I might even draw the palm tree, but, you know, bring the island, that sort of thing. Okay, so I'm just going to minimize this for now, and I'm going to go over to the document. Now, as I said, this is an asset document, not the storyboard document, not what I'm going to put into the animator, okay? So it's not in order of frame by frame, it's just a collection. One of the things to think about it as is, imagine that you are the set designer for a movie. So you're going to go in there and you're going to create multiple sets. You're going to look at the script, but you're not going to go play by play with the script. You're just going to create these overarching areas that each thing is going to, or the actors are going to go into and act out the narrative, okay? So that means this isn't necessarily in order. This is just assets that you're using. So on one layer, I am going to use snowflakes and animate them. On another layer, I'm going to have a lake that I use. Remember, I said that they travel on a lake. I have a cabin interior. I'm going to need a couple of those. I have a couple different shots of what I'm going to do with the cabin itself. I'm going to zoom in and I'm going to zoom out. I also have various composites of the forest and the ground plane, that snowy ground plane that I'm going to use. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to maybe import a different background so we can go through again finding our stock photography. So I'm going to go into File, Stock Search. Again, as you can see, I was grabbing my lakes. I'm going to do blue sky with clouds, maybe with clouds. Okay. I'm going to see what happens. Oh, okay. Here's a good one. So that's when they've moved from one lake to another. So when they go to the lake, maybe to the ocean, I could use this nice blue sky with clouds here. I even have this one here, it might be come in handy. Okay, so if I am going to use them in my main document, I am going to have to strip them of color. Sometimes I'm going to actually have to cut and paste elements as well. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and import these clouds. I'm going to pick optimized for web because we're going to turn this into a movie. Okay, so there's actually more or less smaller files. And you can see it automatically opens up a different tab for me. Now you can see I was doing this lake one already. I didn't take the entire scene. I didn't need the mountains in the background. I only wanted to crop the lake and these trees so it blended with my forest background. And to do that, I used the lasso tool. I'm going to do that one more time in this document just so we can review how that is used. So with the lasso tool, I can go around my selection. I can be kind of loose because I can use an eraser later. Oops, sorry, mouse didn't go all the way, but I can use an eraser later with these. I need to get my mouse track in order before I do that. I'll use the stylus. And the only thing about these open source programs is those pop-ups. They're terrible. I'm using my stylus actually. and quickly going through and selecting part of this. And I can go outside and it will snap to the frame on the edge here. And then go Command Copy. It comes up that I copied, and I can paste into my other document. We go in here, Command Paste, and it would automatically give it its own layer. I've already done that, so I'm going to go ahead and delete. And I'm going to now adjust this. Again, I would put it into its own layer and take off the visibility in my main document. So again, we go to Adjustment, Hue Saturation, take down the hue, take down the saturation, and adjust the lightness, light and dark for contrast if necessary, okay? Here, I want the whole thing, so I'm gonna go ahead and do select all, keyboard shortcut, Command-C, animated background, Command-V, paste it, rename it, sky. And then, because I don't need it right now, just take off the visibility. If I was going to switch to the lake and this blue sky, because maybe I'm changing the scene, I would have to change the visibility as well, okay? Lake, and take that off. One thing too, as you notice, it's got to be put in a different order because it would have to be behind the lake, so I'm going to go ahead and put that there. So if I'm changing from blue sky, you know, my scene has moved along, we're changing from blue sky, or we're gonna change, maybe get rid of these trees, we've changed the horizon, that sort of thing, and we're moving to the ocean, then I would have to toggle on the visibility for those. When you have your layers together, you've imported all your source imagery, you kind of got an idea of what you need to adjust and how it works. You can start exporting these into a separate file on your desktop. This is very important. So I have decided my background zoom out. This is going to be some of my first panels. So I'm going to go ahead and toggle the visibility on this, and I'm going to export it so that I can use it in my composite. That's in a later video, okay? So I'm going to show you here how to organize your background assets. I'm going to show you how to organize your character assets. And then I'm going to show you how to put it all together in WeVideo to create a mini movie. So this here, I have decided, okay, this is exactly how I want this background. I might use it a couple times. So I'd like to put it in a separate place so I can collect it and not worry about it for a minute. So I'm going to go here, press save, switch over to a PNG, and I'm going to title it cabin_zoom out. I could also say 01 because I know it's going to be in the early scenes, or scene 1. Or you can just say cabin zoom out. Maybe I'm going to use it a couple different times. I'm now going to press download, and then I'm not going to do it now because I've already done it before, but I'm going to move it to a folder on my desktop that says Animated Phobia Assets. So while you're doing this, you do want to have a folder elsewhere where you can start to collect imagery. Okay, so then when you're putting your composite together, it's a little easier. You know where all of this stuff is. Okay, you know where you've created your backgrounds. And that's it. That's all for the background asset video. The next one coming up will be character assets and how to make and use those.